Hey everyone, this is going to be an addendum to the 16642 problem I did. I think on the parametrized part, actually it doesn't matter, but it's going to be an addendum there. And let's talk about this number 42 real quick. And I want to say that I was a moron and I did this problem incorrectly. And so let's talk about why I did it incorrectly. So if we pull up this problem that I did, and this is exactly what I did. Here's what's shown in the video. I added this part right here, which says that, hey, look, I circled this less than or equal to sign, and I said the way I did the problem, it should be an equal to and not less than or equal to. So what do I mean by this? I read the problem wrong, essentially, and I thought that we only needed to calculate the flux through the top surface. That's it, right? So essentially, it was the flux of the field across the surface, right, of the upper cap cut from the solid sphere x squared plus y squared is less than or equal to 25 by the plane z is equal to 3. So the way I thought it was, okay, so you have a sphere, I'm getting cut by z is equal to 3, but it's going to be a hollow sphere. So I only need to find the flux then through the top because there's no lid on the bottom, right? That was my thought. There's no lid on the bottom. Well, it turns out there is a lid on the bottom, okay? And why is there a lid on the bottom? Well, this less than or equal to sign tells me that there's a lid on the bottom. So another way to think about this then is if we think about like circle, right? X squared plus y squared is equal to 4. I'm not worried about the inside, all right? But x squared plus y squared is less than 4, right? Less than or equal to 4. Then I have the inside filled, right? And the same thing with spheres, right? So if it's x squared plus y squared plus z squared is less than or equal to 25, which is the case here, right? It's a less than or equal to sign. The entire sphere is going to be filled. All right, it's going to be like a dense sphere. Think of it as like, I don't know, what is a dense sphere? Think of it as like a ball made out of wood. Okay, so that's going to be x squared plus y squared is less than or equal to 25. So this is like a ball made from wood, made out of wood, or let's say putty, right? Like Play-Doh. All right. However, that means if I cut, like, so if I have a sphere, I have a ball just rolled up from Play-Doh, and I cut out like from that red line there, like I remove like the cap of the ball, you're gonna realize then, well, once I remove the cap part is gonna have this top part, but since it was dense, it was filled up with Play-Doh, the entire part. I'm gonna also have this green guy on the bottom as well, right? So I'm going to have a lid on my region, essentially. And I mean, just think about it. You have a ball of Play-Doh, it's dense, you rip the top off, and now you got the curvy part of the ball is still there, but then on the bottom, you still have Play-Doh, essentially like filling it in, but on the bottom of the cap, there's Play-Doh there, right? But the way I treated the problem here, right, was that this was hollow, so there was no cap on the bottom. And why is that wrong? So why did I say that this should be an equal sign? Because now if you think about it, if we have the equal sign, that means every point has to satisfy, has to equal 25. So the only place I can be is on this blue line, like on the surface of the ball. So essentially, when you have an equal sign, you have like a basketball that's like pumped of air on the inside. Okay, so when you split the basketball up, right, across like the middle or something, well, you have air on the inside. So if you look from the bottom of the, like, if you look, so you cut your basketball in like half, right? Then you still have the curvy part of the ball on the top, but on the bottom, right? On the inside, it's hollow, so there's not going to be like basketball skin. Like there's not going to be like leather on the bottom of this half basketball that you cut. It's going to be hollow. And so when you have this equal to 25, when you cut planes out of this thing, you're going to get hollow balls. You're going to get hollow regions, and that means you're going to have this picture right here that I have, right, where you're not going to have a lid on the bottom. So equals to, you're going to be missing the lid, and if it's less than or equal to, you're going to have the lid. So that's one way to tell. Another way to tell that you're going to have a dense, solid region is from the fact that, well, this problem says it's a solid sphere. So that means, oh, if I have a solid sphere, that means my sphere is going to be like like filled in. It's going to be dense all the way through. Think of it like Play-Doh, not air in a ball. Okay. So a solid sphere is also a giveaway. Yeah, I mean that's about it. So if you see the word solid, you need to know to include the cap on the bottom. This is a big deal when it comes to chapter 16.8. And so like when you have a paraboloid, right, you have equals to. So when you're cut by z is equal to 1, you don't have a lid. All right. But if you had like a dense paraboloid, or if they said like a solid paraboloid, and then they had like, instead of an equal sign, they had like a greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. I'm not sure which one. So if they had like a greater than or equal to sign, then we're talking about a paraboloid that's going to be like dense all the way through. All right, and then so when you cut the plane, you're going to have a lid. So inequalities mean you're going to have lids. Equalities mean you're not going to have lids. And also, if it's a solid or if it's as dense, you're going to have lids when you cut that region. And let's then just jump quickly over to 16.8 just to show this real quick. I did number 9 in 16.8, and this is a really weirdly worded problem. I really hope this doesn't show up on an exam. This is a very poorly worded problem. But like number 10, or not number 10, that's a bad one. So like number 12, right, it says a solid sphere. Okay, so it's dense the entire way through. A thick-walled cylinder. So you have these less than or equal to signs. And what does that mean? Well, essentially you have a full cylinder, like made out of wood or Play-Doh, instead of like a hollow cylinder, like, I don't know, a toilet paper roll tube, right, where you have a hollow cylinder. So thick-walled, then when you see these inequalities, that means that you're fine. You're going to have, when you get cut with z equals -1 and z equals 2, you're going to have your lids, all right? You will have your lids when you have less than or equal to, when you have inequalities. So I've been repeating myself a lot. Again, the main goal of this problem was to show you guys that, hey, I did this problem wrong. I only calculated the flux through the top, right? I only calculated flux through the cap. I said there was no lid, right? By this drawing, you can obviously see that there is no lid in my region, and that means I treated this x squared plus y squared plus z squared as an equals to sign and not a less than or equal to sign. And so in order to do this correctly with less than or equal to, I need to find the flux through this bottom lid as well. But it's fine. We can leave it like it as is, because the way I did it like shows the example I wanted to. And yeah, just know that then the way I did 16.642, I treated it as if there were an equal sign, not a less than or equal to sign. So that's why I only have the cap on the top. And you'll see this come up in the last video on 16.8 that I do. I'm gonna talk a little bit there, very briefly, about like hollow and like having the cap versus not having a cap, right? So having a cap is not hollow. Not having a cap is hollow. And okay, I mean, I've been going on the subject way too long. I'm just rambling now. Hope you guys get the idea. I'll talk about more in recitation as well. See you guys in the next video.